Welcome to the Passion Behind the Art show. It's all about diving in with individuals to learn the story behind their passion. It's your host, Daryl Pinnock. So the episode 50 live stream has come and gone, and it was amazing. I just want to thank you to all my special guests. We were streaming live on Facebook in the Facebook group for Passion Behind the Art from 12 noon to 9:30 at night. We had such a good time, laughs, live musical performances, just a good time. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. I want to give a shout out to Inch by Inch, Bob Ewing, Drew Hill. We were able to give away something from Inch by Inch. I want to give a shout out to Kyle Courtwright from Logo Wave. We gave out something from Logo Wave. I want to give a shout out to Lisa Quine. We were able to give out something from her shop, and Scotty Russell, who from Perspective Collective, we were able to give away something from his shop also. Just thank you to everyone who just came and participated and laughed with us and just enjoyed a great time. We were able to share some practical and clear and actionable advice and knowledge. The focus of the live stream was building relationships and some step-by-step practical things you can start doing the minute you leave the live stream. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks again. Episode 50. It's just the beginning. Oh my gosh, it's just the beginning. Which is Lisa Quine. She's just awesome. You guys are gonna love her. Her energy is just off the charts. Thank you for Lisa.
Oh my gosh, sorry. Technical difficulties left and right. The iPad wasn't working, so I'm on my phone.
Awesome. I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, whoa. I'm going to find something to hold up my phone now.
Okay, it's all good.
How has a full day of live podcasting going? You're crazy.
Oh my gosh. It's been good. I mean, of course, there's just, technical difficulties here and there.
Oh, really?
But...
I don't know what that's like.
But to be honest, as it progresses, it got better. So you are on like the winning side right now.
Oh, good.
Like, hopefully I didn't speak too soon.
Oh my gosh, what is that painting in the background?
What?
Are you in your house?
Yes.
What is that painting?
It's just wall art. Like, I have no idea.
Oh my god, I'm jealous of your painting, and I'm gonna try. Here, there we go. Check it out. What have we got going on there?
Oh gosh.
My husband decorated our apartment.
Awesome. More power to him.
Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm gonna get comfy on the couch. Oh. Cool. So, how many people have you interviewed today?
With you, it's probably gonna be 12.
Oh my god, that is a jam-packed day.
Yes, yeah, it's probably gonna be 12 with you.
Oh my god,
14 in all.
Wowzers!
So it's gonna be 12, and I still got 2 more. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And I did a little hand-lettered post for this. Am I allowed to post after? Or are you going to release everything? Or is it already released? Since it's live?
No, you can post after.
Perfect. Okay, I'm excited.
I'm glad you. I can't wait to see what you did. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I will admit it was kind of quick. I'll add some detail now that I have some more time to work on it tonight. But yeah, just staying busy.
That's exciting. So Lisa has officially went on her own in, was it December?
November.
November.
November,
Yeah.
doing her thing, and she's literally been crushing it, right? She's a designer like myself, but she could offer some insight to awesome women out there, and some insight to just people in general that want to do their thing, and some of the steps that she went to kind of get that started. So before we get to that, one of the theme of this is relationships. And
I love that.
And I want you to talk a little bit about how, if you have some hacks in how to build good relationships, and how important relationships have been to you.
Oh my God. Well, relationships are everything, especially in this business, and especially if you want to go out on your own, because like every job I've gotten has come from other people and relationship building over time. So, I mean, after college, I moved back to Cleveland, and I knew, I had a base in like a suburb of Cleveland because I grew up there, but in downtown Cleveland, like the city itself, I didn't know anyone outside of the 2 advertising agencies I worked for. And even having like a couple jobs, that opened a world of clients and customers. So word of mouth got out, and that helped build my Instagram account too. Just, being nice, being friendly, being energetic for even projects at work. So yeah, I mean, it all started in advertising, like when I was like straight out of college, but it just grew. Like when I would show people like what I was working on Instagram, I would post my work. Like I was just doodling this late at night, and like, oh, I have a baby shower coming up. Like, can you do something similar for me? And like, projects just kind of expanded organically that way. But I think what helped is just being nice and being excited for every project that came my way. Sorry, my camera's so shaky. I'm like trying to hold it.
It's all right.
But yeah, I am definitely a people person. I try to keep my energy level up high when I'm talking to people. And I think it's addictive sometimes. I mean, it depends on who you talk to, but I try to get the client excited for the project too. And in advertising, when you're talking to a client, usually about creative work, like that's the most exciting part of their day, because otherwise, they're talking about metrics, and I'm totally bullshitting this part. Just like I don't know what other marketing people talk about, like not sales, but how certain campaigns are doing. And I don't know, just boring email stuff. But like when they see creative, they're like, oh, artwork. So
Right.
you have that already going for you. But yeah, like art sometimes is the most exciting part of their day. And so if you deliver it too, like you're passionate and energetic about it, like that totally helps as well.
Which is true. But in regards to like other outside of projects, like how has relationships kind of even benefit your person? Like, especially with this community that we have going on from different angles that all started with CS.
I'm so sorry. I think I have poor connection. Can you repeat the question?
So I'm saying, like, how has relationships benefit you out? Not just in like getting clients, but like even with CS and stuff like that. Like, how has relationships helped you?
Oh, duh, right? So conferences have definitely been a huge part of this. I know I met Joe Barron, who was a fellow Ink Wars contender at Weapons of Mass Creation in Cleveland. And he got me working on Harley Davidson t-shirts, which has been super fun. And he's definitely one of my favorite clients. So yeah, and well, he was definitely one of my favorite clients when we're not competing against each other. His board was awesome. But yeah, and like just the speakers are always amazing, and I get something out of every talk I've ever listened to. And just I don't know, like getting lunch with people afterwards,
Right.
like it's the in between times too, meeting people at workshops together, sitting and listening on panels, like, and then actually like going up to the speaker afterwards and talking more about them, because they're people too. Like, I used to have a fear of, you know, a person that has been so much further in their career. Like, I kind of get starstruck.
Right.
So, but I talked to Lenny about this. I think you've had Lenny on the podcast before.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we were just talking about how, you know, just approach them as a person, ask them about their family, like bring it down to earth, and then you can, like, I don't know, fangirl over them, but not freak them out. But yeah, again, like, that has been super helpful, talking to someone who has made the leap before and getting advice from a number of people before I made the leap. That totally helped.
Okay, so are we ready? Can you talk a little bit about the mural now?
Yes. Well, it's not released out to the public yet. March 18th. I know. I mean, it's pretty much out there already, but March 18th will be the big, like, news story locally.
Right.
But yeah, I just completed 6 walls in a building kind of out, like, just outside of downtown Cleveland. It's got a great view of the skyline, though, which I appreciated. Like, and my arm would fall asleep and I'd turn around and be like, oh, there it is. But yeah, it was a beast of a project, and a lot of questions that I've gotten were like, oh, did you just project it? I'm like, no, because it was in a hallway, like, and I couldn't project the design on the wall, so I had to kind of wing it. And but I did use the grid system, so I had an image on my iPad, gridded it out, and then I built a grid, like, on the wall as well in chalk.
So how did you get this project, if you can share? Like, how did you get that?
Cleveland is a smaller city, so a lot of, like, almost all my projects are word of mouth, or sometimes Instagram, sometimes it's news articles, but a interior design firm found me on Instagram, or by word of mouth. I asked them at one point, and it was either those two. I'm mixing projects together in my head now. But yeah, small city.
Okay. So it's basically you consistently putting yourself out there in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, you know my answers better than me. I am a firm believer in, like, putting out the work that you want. And so, I mean, I got into murals by going to a public chalkboard under a bridge, very safe, and just, like, doing chalk murals in the cold Cleveland weather and stuff, like, and making the artwork I wanted large scale, because I've never drawn on a wall before, so I just said, why not chalk up this, like, public art wall, you know? And for the most part, no one touched it.
So was this something that you went up and did, or did you get hired to do that?
Nope, just did it for fun.
I like that.
Because, like, how is a client supposed to trust you if you've never done it before? So I saw that I lacked experience in murals, so I had to go get some. And luckily, Cleveland has, like, a public chalk art wall. Actually, they have a few scattered around the city. So
wow,
yeah,
interesting. I've never heard of that. That's pretty interesting.
I think it started because we got one that says, before I die, I want to, and then people could write whatever they want.
Oh.
Yeah, and those have been popping up around cities, but we also have blank chalk walls down by a neighborhood called the Flats by the river. So yeah, a lot of people do, like, I love Cleveland, or, like, you know, letters, heart, other letters.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, you have been putting out work consistently. You've grown an audience. Now you're out on your own. Like, what are some practical things that people could just leave from here? They may not necessarily be designers, but some things that they could leave out of here and just say, okay, I have no more excuses. I could go start doing this.
Oh, like, advice for doing your passion?
Right.
So, to be blunt, like, money is a huge part of it. So I would definitely, I read the book Overlap by Sean McCabe, and McCabe, sorry. Yeah, I'm not in his fan club or anything, so I only know what I read. Anyway, so he wrote the book Overlap, and it talks about having 3 months of living expenses saved up before you go full-time freelance. I was scared shitless. I was more like 4 or 5 months, just playing it super safe.
That's good though.
But yeah, like definitely saving up first, just in case you fall into trouble and have to like spend time finding a job again, which hopefully won't happen.
No,
But yeah, saving up and then finding different pockets. Like you're not just a designer. You design logos, you design brochures, you tap into different industries, like finding different revenues of income. So I focused on murals. I focused on reoccurring monthly chalkboards for different restaurants in Cleveland. I tried to start selling prints. I hate having inventory. It makes me crazy. I'm such a neat freak, and I hate that there's like prints sitting in my room or guest room. I'm like, but it's another form of revenue.
Right, which is true.
So yeah, save up, have different forms of revenue and connections. Like, I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and therefore I jumble up everything I listen to. But one good piece of advice is go in person to where you want to work. Like my favorite restaurant in Cleveland. I go to eat there all the time, and I just emailed the marketing guy. I'm like, hey, I'm a lettering artist. Like, I would love to, Town Hall is my favorite restaurant. I would love to do this. I did this with another restaurant, got them too. Like, just go show up.
Dropping knowledge. That's like a good hack right there. That's a legit something that someone could go do. Whatever it is, it doesn't necessarily have to be design oriented. But if you want to go, just go to the place, and then at a later time, reach out to them.
Well, look at you. You go to Creative South, and I'm sure that has helped you, like making those in-person connections.
Right. I mean, to be honest, like how I went to Creatives. I didn't go to Creative South. I went to meet someone up. And it started into me and him turning into a whole table at In-N-Out Burger. Is it In-N-Out Burger? That burger place, the most popular burger place over there by Creative South, man.
I thought In-N-Out Burger was a West Coast thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I figured that. I messed up. It's not In-N-Out Burger, but it's a burger spot.
Gotcha.
This whole row of people, but I didn't go to the conference. I just drove down there to meet someone up.
Oh my God. I just associate you in the Creative South group because
I eventually did go to the conference after that though. But what happened is I reached out to Mike and I was like, dude, I didn't go to the conference. I just hanged out with the people. These people are awesome. Keep up the good work. And now we are we are really good friends now.
See, it works. It works.
It works. So people, get out there. Get out there and go talk to somebody. Get out there. Saving. Go and save your money before you want to go do your thing. And 2, I know you're working on that right now, and I'm building that. That's the multiple revenue stream idea.
Yeah.
You don't want to just be making money from one thing only. Multiple revenue streams.
I have another one too.
Go ahead.
Don't copy other people's artwork because they know when you do it. I have a monthly call with other women in the freelance lettering and illustration industry, and it's amazing how often people copy other people's work. It's like, yes, they are they have their own styles in the world, and people high visibility projects, and people want to replicate that. And I get it, it's out of fanhood, but if you're selling it for money, you need to put your own spin on it. And it's sometimes hard to get inspiration, so maybe get a book instead of always scrolling Instagram and Pinterest, because the same images tend to repeat. And so I've found go outside, drop the phone, drop the screens, put your nose in a book, or go on a walk and get inspiration from something other than a screen.
But there's one thing that I know that you do that you shared with me. It's your tactic of like making some kind of, I don't know if you a collage or a mood board or whatever the case may
Yes,
be
yes.
on Pinterest, which is like ever since you told me that, I've done it every single time.
Right. I've also purchased Jason. Oh my God, he's gonna kill me for mispronouncing his last name, but it's either Karn or Carney.
Oh,
Jason,
okay, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
but
I've
he,
never tried to say his last name.
I'm terrible at name pronunciation. But anyway, I think he buddied up with Dustin Lee, and he sells his lettering library
Okay,
on
cool.
Retro Supply, and I bought that, and it's a PDF of like book pages from like old vintage lettering books. It is amazing. I'm like, no one is like lettering in the style besides Jason and stuff.
Right.
And I've like, it opened my eyes into like Art Nouveau and like the early 1900s and like type styles back then. So I did a whole series of 10 new quotes by women, and in that style I kind of mixed like the fonts I found in his books with William Morris, who was he had a exhibit at the Cleveland Museum of Art, so an in-person museum and like books, just kind of combined those two. And I tried to stay away from the internet, but I mean it is the quickest option.
Right, which is true. I mean, it's a very fine line. I mean,
Right.
yeah, we all say that, you know, at some point everything has been created, but
Yeah.
you know, do your best to kind of do your due diligence and researching, and you know, I mean, you should be fine. I mean, it's tough, man. Sometimes you unintentionally kind of create something that's already out there, and you don't know until after.
I mean, that's how I got my start in lettering. I would, try to replicate something cool I saw online. That's totally fine. It's just when you start copying it
Like
verbatim
turning into a
and
business.
yes. Like you don't want to start off a business on a lie or like on something you copied,
Which is true. So what is so you're gonna be doing a workshop at Creative South.
Yes.
Are you doing right, yeah, just Creative South. I know you told me that you won't be going to Crop, so
No, I'm so bummed out. It looks amazing.
I don't think I'm gonna make it either, but
Little
so
too much traveling.
You're doing a lettering workshop at Creative South. What I didn't ask anybody else this, but I'm gonna ask you anyway.
Okay.
What does Lisa got going on next? What's next?
I landed a ice cream client, which is a dream come true. We had to talk about like dream clients and stuff, and it's hard to like I have dream projects rather than dream clients, but then I landed an ice cream shop in Cleveland. I'm like, oh, that's a dream client. Like,
It's like free unlimited ice cream.
I'm gonna try to work that in the contract. I might just slip it in really tiny, like 7 point, like, and give me ice cream. But I'm redoing their menu boards, and they kind of wanted to look like Potbellies, where it's multiple boards kind of collaged together. So I'm really looking forward to that. But it's going to be a lot of lettering. So that's coming up, and then I've got a conference to go to. It's a librarian conference in Philadelphia this month, where I'm going to be doing a live mural, but it's all going to be librarians that show up to this company's booth. So I have to draw like 100 people in 3 days.
So you're going to draw actual people?
Yes,
not
but
like
cartooning. They want me to add in like some company values and stuff. So luckily there is some lettering in there, but they're like, you could draw people, right? I say yes to a lot of things and then figure it out, which, I mean, that seems to be advice everybody gives. So I'm like, oh, I'll just do that. So,
well, Lisa, I'm trying to look at the time. Okay, so
sorry.
Jason is coming up next.
Woo!
So, yes. I just want to thank you for coming on. Like, you know where we stand. You're awesome. You're awesome, and I
you are too.
Appreciate all the support. All the support.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for having me on for episode 50. Like, congratulations on making it to 50. That you hustle hard. You've got it going on. So thank you so much for asking. And I can't wait to post about this.
All right. I can't wait to see. Well, thanks, Lisa. Have a great night.
Bye. Good night.
All right. All right, that was Lisa Quine. As you can see, she's like a ball of energy, great energy. Always enjoy talking to her. The next guy that's coming up is Jason Frostholm. He is the podcast host for the Creative South podcast. So you guys have heard us talk about Creative South, said CS, like, this is a life-changing event. Jason, thanks for joining in earlier, and thanks for being on right now.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, you are awesome, man. Like, you are Mike Jones is the face of Creative South. You're officially the voice. You're the voice of Creative South, man. You are literally the voice of Creative South.
That's a lot of pressure.
So, as you know, like, you listen, chiming in here and there to kind of hear what we've been talking about. One of the main things we've been talking about was relationships. And I feel like I want you to talk a little bit about the power of podcasting and how being a part of doing the podcast for Creative South, how does that impact your life?
Oh, wow. I mean, it's been a huge change. It was, speaking of it in the power of relationships, it all started from a relationship with Mike. And it really started with a relationship with Diane Gibbs, because she and I were online buddies, and she was hosting Design Recharge, and Mike was on there talking about Creative South, and one thing led to another, and I've told this story a bunch of times, so I'm not going to bore everybody with all the details. Excuse me. But ended up going to Creative South for the first time in 2014, and then have been back every year since. But after 2015, really wanted to start finding a way to give back. I was already talking to almost all the people that I'd met at Creative South on a daily basis in a Slack channel that we have, and wanted to figure out how to do something for Creative South, because I felt it had done so much to get me out of just a creative and professional rut. And that built off my relationship with Mike. So Mike and I had, in that time become friends, and I just reached out to him and asked. It was like, hey, what do you think about doing a podcast? And, he had literally just a couple days before had that conversation with somebody else about, the idea of doing it. So it ended up, working out really well for me. And in the time of doing the podcast, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of really cool people. I can't say that I've built a relationship with every single guest that I've had on, but there's, been more than a handful that I have. Like for you, for instance, I've and Matt Dawson and Peter Bacchio and Fabio Perez, and anybody that I leave out, I'm really sorry, but I'm blanking on names all of a sudden. So, relationships came out of having people on the podcast as well, and not just relationships, but friendships. It wasn't just, hey, we're not just Facebook buddies. We're, it was more than that.
Right. And I think it's sometimes it's just kind of gets lost. It's like, okay, I get to know Jason. What can I get from him? I get to know you. You say, oh, I get to know Daryl. What can I get from him? But instead of like just trying to just be genuine people to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I feel like that's the type of relationship I'm talking about. Like just being able to just kind of just be real friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what are some of, if you can share, maybe you don't want to share, but what are some of the doors that this kind of opened up for you, if any?
I don't know that it's directly opened any doors for me. It's afforded me some cool opportunities. I got to go do the podcast live at Weapons of Mass Creation a couple years ago. Was really hoping to be able to do it again this past year, but things just didn't work out as far as travel arrangements and work stuff and all that. I'm in this October. I'll be speaking up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So those would be the direct opportunities. I've gotten a little bit of freelance work from it, just from, but that's been from people that I've built friendships with, who have sent me stuff that wasn't necessarily, in their wheelhouse or was, something they couldn't take on at the time.
Right.
But I mean, it's only been a handful of those things. But, it does go back to, I've had the opportunity to speak with a lot of amazing people, and that's helped keep me motivated and keep me from getting in a rut. And so that's a long rambling way of saying more than I thought of when I first started talking.
Right. So, and the thing is, sometimes I think what people are afraid of is just kind of putting themselves out there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, can you speak to that a little bit? Because you had to put yourself out there. I mean, you probably had some idea, but you didn't know that Mike was going to be like, okay, let's do this.
I did not know. I mean, I didn't think Mike would turn me down. I did not think he would rush me into it in a 2-week time frame. I thought, because when I reached out to him, I knew what a podcast was, and I had never done a podcast before. I didn't know how to get a podcast posted online. I didn't know, what software to use. What type of mic to get, any of that stuff. And within 2 weeks, I was up and running with my first starter mic, and found a hosting service and built all that stuff out of it. Yeah, I mean, it was initially, like I said, putting myself out there and asking Mike, hey, would you be okay if I did this? Because Creative South is his baby. And I didn't want to seem like I was piggybacking on his success.
Right.
But, on the day-to-day, I've got to put myself out there when I reach out to guests to see if they want to come on there. I put myself out there every time I talk to a guest who I don't know. There's all those things that are behind it. And I still get, nervous. I still, it's an email I'm sending, and I get worried about, what if they say no? And I have to push myself through that. And there's been people that I haven't reached out to just because I'm worried that they'll turn me down. And then there's other people that I haven't reached out to because I'm worried that they'll say yes. And then what the hell am I going to do? What am I going to talk to about? Because I'm worried about, being starstruck.
That's funny. That is funny. It's trust me, it's one of those things where, you just kind of just got to go for it. You know what I mean? Like, you won't really get rid of that feeling.
Yeah.
You just gotta. Yeah, and I know you know that. Just gotta go for it and see what happens.
Yep.
Because one of them things that I try to tell myself, like, just don't take anything personal. Whatever comes about, just don't take anything personal.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. Sometimes I'm successful at it.
All right, so someone wants to start a podcast. They want to start doing something. What are some practical things that you can share to say, okay, this is what you can start doing to get you down that path after finish watching this live stream.
Go out there and do it. Believe me, if I can figure out how to do a podcast in 2 weeks, you can figure it out. We're not talking rocket science here. There's enough tools out there that it's easy and painless to set up. Find a good hosting platform. Whether that's one that's really robust like Libsyn, or one that is super easy to use like SoundCloud, or one that, sorry, I'm being heckled here by Zach Wilkinson through tweets and Facebook messages and stuff like that. But so I use Simplecast. That's the hosting platform that I use. You can you can build a website if you don't have website experience with Squarespace or something similar. Because I'm not a web developer. I'm not a web designer. I've built a podcast website that is not up at the moment, and I'm horribly behind on getting the official Creative South podcast website. So you have to go through Creative South now to get to it, but that's coming soon. But all the tools are out there at your fingertips. None of them are that difficult to use. You don't have to buy the best mic out there. You can spend, as little or as much as you want on a microphone. The first mic I got was a little over $100, which is in the mid-range of microphones that you can get, but you can get a decent Behringer kit mic for $20 that's going to do what you need. As long as you got a computer, especially in my world, and you've got a lot of crossover with this as well, but there's a lot of designers out there. We all use Adobe Creative Cloud. You've got a built-in tool there, Adobe Audition. If you've used Premiere, or even if you've used Garage, you can even use GarageBand.
Right, that's true.
There's ways you can do it on your phone. I don't necessarily recommend that because you're not going to get the best quality, but you can do it. Right. It's just a matter of starting. That's the biggest hurdle you're going to have, is the starting.
I mean, dude, you're right, because I now have a mic thanks to you.
You're welcome.
But like, I was rolling with this. This is what I was rolling with. You see me.
Yeah.
This is what I was rolling with. And as Jason said, like, the goal is to start. You know what I mean? Start.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate everything you do, everything you stand for.
Well, thank you.
This is a friendship that I cherish, and I really appreciate everything you do, man.
Oh, same here, man. And I mean that. I appreciate you having me on twice now. Once was slightly less terrifying because it wasn't live. But people get a glimpse into my laundry room now, where this is where I record the podcast. And I'll do I'm going to switch the camera around so you see what my view is. I don't have my computer set up, but there's my mic, there's my audio processor, there's the stand that my computer goes on, and then, there's soundproof wall. And over here is a fridge and washing machine and dryer and a bunch of junk, because I live like a hoarder sometimes. And I think that goes back to, you don't have to have anything fancy. I mean, I'm doing a podcast out of the laundry room. I mean, this isn't, where Daryl is sitting now is much nicer than where I do my podcast from.
Hey, dude, this is not where I do anything. This was specifically because I'm doing this. Like, you've had all those who've had me on the podcast, especially if we do it in the nighttime. You're in a dark room for the most part.
Yeah, I
And
think
you
this
see
is.
my head.
I think this is, and this is going to sound terribly inappropriate out of context. This is the first time I've seen Daryl with the lights on. So it's, I actually can see kind of what he looks like now instead of just some shadows and eyeballs and teeth.
Oh man, that is the truth, So I wanted to make it a little bit nicer, a little bit better lighting for this event. But usually, and it's not about being fancy. And sometimes we get so caught up in trying to be fancy that you don't do anything.
Right.
And we are all a testament of that. Like literally, it's about you just starting and just adjusting as things go. Adjusting as things go.
I would definitely agree with that. So let me ask you, since you're at episode 50 now, what does the future hold for you? How are you going to up your game?
Which I have something. I have something. Well, to be honest, like the podcast, I came upon the podcast by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Like a video show, this is what I wanted originally.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it kind of took a little while, but I'm going to extend the podcast even more, do more podcasts. But eventually, like, I'm going to be intertwining these live shows. And that's where, I'm terrified, everything, all the above, but the more scared I am, the more I'm going to want to do it.
Sure.
So eventually that's where, because F. Eric Fredrickson, Fredrickson, he was like, we were chatting a little bit after his episode, and he was like, he just said something, and I never really thought about it. He was like, dude, know that you're building a community, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that is what's happening, but I never thought of it. I literally never thought of that. I never thought that there's a group of people that come to this, even though that's what's happening every Tuesday. I release an episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then my wife was like, you need to get your voice out there. You've been doing it behind the scenes for a long time. Like, I've been a mentor. I've been to people. I've been helping people for years, since I was 16. But it's always been behind the scenes and, the old-fashioned way, in a room with a group of people and talking in small groups and stuff like that. But she was like, you need to put your voice out there more. Put your voice out there. And I thought it was, but if my wife is saying that, there's probably something that I'm not doing.
Sure. Listen to her. So, she sounds like a smart woman.
Which is very true. So that's where eventually, like, I'm just going to ramp it up a little, add some more things. This group has been created, this Facebook group. I don't know where it's going to go, but if I could help someone take some action, I think more than anything else, that's probably where I want to help. Get someone to take some kind of action, like, it'll be worth it after all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, speaking of that, have you told people that you're going to be at Creative South this year doing your podcast live?
So, no, not actually, no. Not everyone. I was trying to get this day past me. Once this day is past me, like, that's the next, the next thing to put out there. It was just, because I had so much guests, like, it was more than, like, putting this all together. It was a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't know how you're still speaking after going all day.
Well, I've spoken, as I said, I've spoken a lot outside of, like, being online and stuff like that.
Sure.
But, like, dude, like, just the behind the scenes putting this thing together, like, and some of the stuff I had to just say, you know what, let's save it for another time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know Scotty sent me Scotty said to me, he's up next. He was like, dude, like you are really going all out for 50th episode. And I was like, I didn't really plan it like that, but everybody said yes, so I can't turn back now, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm impressed. You've done a lot more than I've done as far as celebrating milestone episodes.
Yeah, dude, I almost didn't do it. I literally was thinking about it for like 2-3 months and just put it out of my mind. And then, like, I started talking about this probably like a month ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally when I decided. I just decided one day, all right, let's just do it. I was literally terrified of this. Like, terrified.
What about it terrified you?
The fact you're live. Like, I could edit a video. I could edit a podcast. Something goes wrong, I could edit it. Like,
Sure.
Earlier this morning, we had so much technical difficulty. If that wasn't live, like, I could just edit it. It never happened. Like, it's out there. It happened. And even if I pulled the videos down, whoever was watching live, they already saw it. So it was just like that whole aspect. And then on top of it, I didn't know that all you guys were going to accept. I did not. I will be honest with you. It almost like brought me to tears, yo. Like I was like, everybody is saying yes. It's just like it was a good feeling that you guys wanted to be on here. So.
Well, I'm honored that you asked.
Yeah, man. I had to.
So, very cool.
Well, I'm gonna let you go. We could start getting ready for Scotty.
Okay.
And but dude, thank you so much for coming on. You know how I feel about you, but thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome. Thank you again for having me on. I'm looking forward to seeing you in about 4 weeks.
Yes, like literally yesterday.
That sounds about right. I don't know.
Yesterday is officially actually it's technically the 11th, but
so Monday. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still freaking out about all the stuff that we're trying to pull together for Creative South.
Tell me about it. Like y'all. I mean, like when they say y'all trying to do it big, y'all trying to do it big, man.
Yep. So.
Well, dude, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks again. Have a great night. Thanks for.
You're welcome. Put it to good use.
For sure. Thought I was going to do that today, but it didn't work out. Technical difficulties.
It sounds good either way. So, Daryl, thanks again for having me on. I really appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right.
Blessings.
I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, so that was Jason Frostholm from the Creative South. He's the podcast host for the Creative South. Awesome dude. You know, just one of those people that, you know, they do their thing. He's in front with his voice, but physically, like most of the times he's behind the scenes. But someone that I truly appreciate, and we are always going back and forth about things, and just not in like a confrontational way, but just like throwing ideas off each other and just having good conversation. And I really appreciate that, man. Like, it's cool to surround yourself, you know, with awesome women, but more importantly, because I'm a man, it's good to surround yourself with awesome men. You know what I mean? So how have you been, man? I know you got off work and you're just like, you know, partially drained.
Man, we had our first like kind of a baby group session thing tonight to go over, you know, parenthood stuff. So that was like 2 hours, and then I just got done wrapping up some tax stuff and jumping on a call, and then I'm going to bed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, dude, I'm glad you made it on. I appreciate you, man. You're the man. I appreciate you. So the overarching thing for this has been between relationships and just some, as I told you before, some practical things that people can go do after watching this or listening to this? So let's kick it off with the relationships. Like, do you have some hacks in building quality relationships, and how has quality relationships benefited you?
Relationships, that's the key word. Relationships over connections or networking. To me, relationships are everything, and finding a connection with someone. But I go into something tending to give value and not expecting to receive back from anyone else. And that tends to lead to the best relationships. And hold up real quick. We need to smash up the likes real quick. Give a couple hearts and a couple more. And I'm a little angry because my wife's headphones broke and there's some Dre Beats cheap. All right. So anybody done that yet? Yeah, Zach Wilkinson.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Couldn't have the stagnant. Thanks, Zach. A little bit of everything.
That's awesome.
But what I heard was like, give a little, take a little. So make sure you're always giving, and then you have the ability to give and ask once in a while too, like a favor. So always go into something willing to give, and don't expect anything in return. And for me, that's built the most fruitful relationship. How can I always just give and pour into someone else? And and that seems to always, karma comes back around.
That is facts, man. And that's for example, that's us. That's me and you. You know what I mean? Just with no strings attached, not expecting anything in return, just doing our best to kind of like hold each other up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And dude, I appreciate you for that, man. I appreciate you for that.
Yeah. Appreciate you as well. Thanks for having me here.
So now you've got a lot of knowledge to drop. So give me some practical things that people can just like, those people who are not taking action can just go start doing. It doesn't necessarily have to be design, but just go start doing something after this.
Let's see. All right, I'm big on. I lived a lot of my life with regret, and I'm big on not doing that anymore. So, am I allowed to swear on this? No, I'll keep it clean. So if something scares me or I realize this is something I'm going to regret later, I make sure it's something I go and attack and get uncomfortable, no matter what it is. So, I mean, I was terrified of sharing my artwork for over 20-something years. It took me forever to claim that I was an artist. It took me forever to get into speaking or blogging or podcasting. So, I mean, I would challenge someone, if there's something you want to do and you feel like when you're on your deathbed, whether it's 90 or 100, and it's something that you're going to regret not doing or giving some effort, starting a business, a side project, gardening, going to the gym, whatever it is, if you're going to regret it, I mean, take a shot at it, give it all you got. So that's for me has been huge now, because I there's too many things I regret, too many opportunities I passed up. So if there's something that, lights you up that you want to try, just do it. What do you have to lose? People want to see you succeed for the most part.
And you see, the thing is, I think one of the things that people kind of forget is like, everyone has this thing to create to benefit someone else. You know what I mean? Everyone has this thing to develop or build or share.
It's the gift.
And it's for someone else, right? The gift. And it's for someone else. You know what I mean? We have something to contribute to this world. You know what I mean?
I would agree. And I think, oh man, this is a Picasso quote that, oh man, I feel like I'm just going to butcher it. But basically, it's like you spend your whole life trying to find that thing that lights you up that you can give away to other people. And that's like the gift. I can't look it up right now because I don't have my computer. But, it's a dope Picasso quote. So look that up and maybe we can tag it in here later. But, I believe we all have something to offer to people. And, it should be something that you not only like, that you're good at, but, there's a market for it. It brings value to people. So I think it needs to be something you enjoy as well as something you're good at, the sweet spot. And, you should never stop searching for it.
Awesome. So, and there's something you said, and it kind of resonated with me, and because it means a lot to me, it's like this whole idea of like defeat and regret. Like me and regret are like in this battle, and it's all said and done. Like I want to defeat regret, and I don't think we all have any urgency, in the grand scheme of things, to defeat regret.
And are you asking how I would defeat the regret?
I mean, just speak on it. You know what I mean?
For me, regret pretty much took me down my whole life, regretting not to ask that pretty girl out, or regretting not busting my ass a little bit harder in sports. You know, I kind of took the easy route at times, or not putting in the effort of building up a portfolio and then feeling sorry for myself when I couldn't land a job. So for me, those are all efforts of regret. Like, man, what if I would have just taken that opportunity? What if I would have invested more time into building a portfolio? What if I would have had the guts to ask that girl out, which eventually I asked out Emily, and that worked out because, you know, I would have regretted not asking. But for me, that's how I feel I defeat it. There's still things that, you know, keep me on the edge and scared at times. But when I feel that little urge of something I'm a little bit afraid of, or something I'm a little scared of, I feel like for me, that's a signal that, you know, okay, this is something I need to pursue. So I think that's how I defeat regret. If it's something that scares me, you know, I'm going after it, going for the jugular, you know?
Right. And I think that should, you see, the thing is, that's not everyone's mindset though. Like, people don't wake up, like, we more feed fear. We have no desire on a grand scheme of things to really defeat regret.
I think,
you know what I mean?
I think for me, in order for me to even see this potential, was going to, you know, a creative South for the first year, not knowing anybody, getting around other people that are doing things I aspired to do. And for me, I felt like I caught a little minor glimpse of something that I could actually, you know, build for myself or create for myself. And, you know, I just soaked up what everybody else was doing, and I went home and just went to grind. You know, nobody knew who I was at all. But, you know, for me, it's doing the things I'm uncomfortable finding community. Like, community's huge for me. I owe everything to finding the Creative South family, and, you know, now it's Crop family and Creative Works family, the family I made at WMC Fest. So conferences are amazing, and there's all types of communities, whether you get to the conferences or not, that you can find these people. So I believe getting around like-minded people, wherever it is, local, online, or out of state, whatever it is, and, you know, soaking up what they have to offer, trying to be around the people who are doing what you're trying to do, or trying to be around the people who are also attempting to try to get to that level. So that's what helps me the most, I guess, defeat regret or face my fears, is catching that glimpse. We all need to catch a little bit of glimpse of that creative potential that we have within us. And for me, that's what really set me off and got me hungry.
And the reason why I try even to emphasize that even more is because that's what bothers us years down the road. It's not the thing that we didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually the thing that we never tried to do.
True that.
Yeah.
Man, I remember, like, things from like 5th grade that still bug me and haunt me today, you know, and I'm like, why didn't I put this thing in the art show? You know, why didn't I try this differently? Like, I still have things that haunt me when I was young. So definitely.
What's this? I know you did this new talk, right? I don't want you to give it all away, but whatever you feel like sharing from this new talk that you contrived.
3 life lessons learned from loving pizza. Yeah, I can give a little bit. Let's see, we got 6 people watching. That's perfect. Okay, so 3 life lessons learned from pizza. The first one is understanding that you can't make everyone happy. You are not pizza. And what I mean by this is that we get so wrapped up as creatives trying to please the masses instead of, you know, focusing on the work that's most true to us. And to me, I call creating work that's true to you is like staying in your own lane instead of swerving in this person's lane, biting their style,
Right.
Swerving in this other lane, trying to rip this other style that might catch you a feature for the time being, but it's short-lived, you know, really just biting someone else's style. So understand you are not pizza. You can't please everyone. Stop trying to create for the masses and create for you. And the second life lesson learned from loving pizza was learning to take life one slice at a time. And for every, let's see, what was this one? We get so wrapped up in thinking that our creative goals and our dreams is a race, a sprint, you know, when really this is a marathon. Everything we're doing is a slow and steady grind. And you can't climb Mount Everest in a day, just like you can't eat a full pizza, you know, in one bite. So, you know, take life one slice at a time and realize this is a day-by-day marathon, and you got to keep showing up. You're going to get knocked on your ass, but how do you get to respond? And then the third life lesson is about learning to love the crust. So for every peak, they say there's a valley. Well, I say for every first bite of that wonderful slice of pizza, there's the crust. And the crust is those moments in life where, you know, it could be a season, it could be a moment, could be a day, a week, a year, whatever, a phase. But it's those moments where you feel crusty. You feel like the crap on the bottom of someone's shoe. You feel lost, invisible, depressed, all those things we all deal with, but a lot of people don't like to talk about.
Right.
Well, I'm realizing that the crust is necessary because this is what molds us to that creative, that father, that husband, whatever we're supposed to become. Those crusty moments and those lessons we learn in it is, you know, what shapes us to the creative and how to thrive and how to, I guess, respond to adversity. So we need those crusty moments in life. So those are the 3 life lessons I've learned from loving pizza. Hopefully that's a quick, you know, condensed version of it. But during the talk, there's a lot of fun illustrations, drawings, lots of funny GIFs, memes. So, you know, it's not too serious, but, and you know, I have a pizza habit. So let's shoot some likes for pizza. Likes for pizza.
For those who are watching that don't know Scotty, like, this dude, after a while, when someone, like, for me personally, because I know him, when I see pizza, I think of him.
Right? Perfect.
Right? Because, and any good person who's in the branding and stuff like that knows that that's like ideal. That's ideal. That is ideal.
It was unintentional, so it just kind of happened. Especially, I made one talking point about it, whatever. I used that pizza one before, and I made drawings in the past, but totally unintentional. But what I always had a hard time was kind of, you know, my talk at Creative South a while ago, you know, I definitely don't like listen to it because I wasn't my true self. And I'm learning to, you know, embrace those weird quirks and show more of myself, my personality. I'm not breaking all rules of privacy. You know, I'm learning to show more of who I am, and I swear that's who I am. It's football background. I've always have. I'm trying my best to keep it contained for you, but you know, that's just part of my brand, and it's not gonna, you know, there's people that are gonna be offended, and I spent so long trying to offend people and wanted to please everyone and be pizza that I could never be my true self in my work, in my voice, and so I feel like I'm just now starting to figure out who I am and show that in my work. You know, that's hard for us. You know, many people, that's hard.
Nah, it's and it's a true thing, because like for me, like, and earlier on in the show, I kind of said, like, these are the 4 things that kind of make up me when it influences me when I come to make something, or just me. It's Jesus, design, music, and sports.
Yeah.
I love sports. That's me. Everything I make, everything I do is gonna, at some way, shape, or form, be influenced by those things.
And that's how it should be. And don't be scared to show your true colors. I know curation is important. It helped me build an audience, was curating. But at the same time, I'm learning, like, hey, you know, why don't I just share a photo of me doing something for once in a while? Or, you know, I share my cats on my Instagram story because I love cats. You know, I'm a pet person, but I love cats so much. I'm that dude who'll, like, catch me slipping watching cat videos. So unashamedly me, for sure. And I used to apologize. I feel like I had to filter myself. And, you know, if you can't accept me for who I am with my personality or how I approach things or in my work, then, I mean, I feel bad for you because I feel like I have a lot of value to offer, and that's your loss. So that's how I approach it now.
Facts.
We're not pizza.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. I love it, dude. Like, for those who don't know Scotty, talking to Scotty, like, he will get you fired up. Like, he's a football dude. You could hear the football coming out of him.
Yeah.
As a true football fan, you can hear it coming out of him. All you need now is that raspy, that high energy voice, and pump your arms a couple times.
Oh man, you should have seen me in my coaching and my playing days, man. This is timid, tame Scotty. So people like to give me a hard time for being the jock / bro in the creative industry, but yeah, again, it's part of me. So learning to accept it.
I'm not sure why, because you already look the part, dude. So
yeah, they're like, "What are you doing at a creative conference? You know, the football field is over there. Like, are you in the military?" Or I get that a lot, like I don't fit in or something. So you know, I keep showing up.
Oh gosh, dude, it's awesome, man. Congrats on expecting a new baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, we're both incredibly stoked. So wasn't planning it, but wasn't not preventing it. So it just happened. We didn't want the stress, and Yeah, we found out Christmas Day, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, she told me like right after we got done opening stockings, and she just dropped the bomb on me, and yeah, it was hard not to like go and just tell the world. I'm not good with secrets. I'm very open and transparent, and I want to just, I'm probably share too much at times, but you know, I'd rather share too much than not share enough with people. So
It's like it's kind of like the Eminem reference. It's like you put it all out there. It's like what does someone have to say about you now? You know what I mean?
oh yeah, like 8 Mile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you know, just like
You think
put it all out
you
there,
think he's
like,
gangster? His real name's Clarence. I watched that recently. I love that movie. Hey, Peter.
Oh, what's up, Peter?
I feel bad for Peter because, man, I bugged this dude so much about updates for Creative South information. So, Peter, this is a public apology for. I probably bug you more than anybody else, dude. So, shout out to Peter.
Oh man, Peter is awesome, man.
I love Peter.
Yeah, man.
How's your day going? You're probably just worn out.
Dude, right now I'm on a high, so I guess I really feel it after this is all said and done. But like, it's been awesome, dude. It's been long,
Thanks, Peter.
but it's been awesome. Like, it's been great, man. It's been great.
How you-
Not sure I'm gonna do something like this again.
Yeah, you got me. Like, I didn't do anything for 50, man. I suck at celebrating milestones. I got a couple ideas floating in the noggin for episode 100. So that'll be in like October.
Cool. Like, I can't wait to see what you do, bro.
Yeah, I have no idea. It all depends on, baby and family. I'll probably just put out an episode again.
True.
Yep.
That's true. That's true.
How are we doing this giveaway? I got a print.
How do you want to do it?
I don't know. I was hoping you had this. I just want to hit episode 20. Zach, you got this, man. Episode 20, it's episode 10, then it's episode 20. That's the next mile mark that you got to break through, and then 50, 75. So, yeah, just get through it. Just keep pushing it.
Just keep
swimming.
Churning the wheel. Keep churning the wheel, man. When it feels. Go ahead.
Otherwise, you can just. You probably can see anybody who is live. You can just pick someone random. That's fine. They don't have to be watching right now, or pick anybody who's watched at all today. And I'll if you pick them out, get their info, I'll send it to them.
All right. I'm seeing this dude Zach a lot.
You don't know who Zach Wilkinson is?
Probably by face.
Oh, he's a splendid gentleman.
This the icon is not.
Have you heard of Creatoring podcast by chance?
Yes.
Okay.
I have.
Yeah, he's part of that.
He's a host.
Yep.
Okay.
He's
cool.
the man behind that. Zach's a good dude.
All right. Awesome. I think I heard Jason talking about himself. Scotty and Jason talking about him. He's awesome. Let's give it to Zach.
All right, smash up the likes for Zach.
Zach, you got something coming your way, man.
Zach, shoot me your infos, please. And Zach, are you gonna be at Crop? Is anybody gonna be at Crop in here first? I guess they have to text. I'm like waiting for a vocal response. What about you, Daryl? So you're gonna be doing a live podcast there at Creative South?
Yes. And it's gonna go over like the loudspeaker and all that stuff.
Oh, so you're gonna be on the stage, or?
Nah, I think they got it set up where it's like gonna be playing in the halls or something.
Awesome, good for you, man.
Awesome. I don't know.
That's scary. That's scary.
I'm going for it though. It's terrifying.
Hey, that's exactly why you got to do it, man. Attack it.
Yeah, I believe.
Awesome. Creatoring's gonna be live at both. Zach, can I like jump in and get recorded? Hey, Daryl, can I be on yours too? I'm publicly asking, so you kind of have to almost say maybe.
Dude, come on, man. That's not even up for. You already know.
Perfect. Yes.
You already know.
Word, man.
So I'll just send you over the times and we'll slate it up.
Perfect.
I'm supposed to be getting with the Hood Sisters. So
you should rephrase how you say that. No, I just recorded with them. They're awesome. So looking forward to them being at Creative South too.
Yo, I can't stand you, man.
I know, it's me. It's me. Love me or hate me, man.
Don't worry, we've had a few of those last night. As a matter of fact, Jason just did one.
Oh,
just
I know.
long ago,
I think
right?
I commented on that one. I was like, oh no, he
Yes.
didn't. No. That's so Jason of Jason to be like Jason. Well, word, man. I appreciate you having me on. I'm sure you got to
Dude.
get to sleep too. What time is it in your area? 9? You hour ahead?
9:18.
Yeah, that's sleep time for me, man.
Huh. Yeah, I know, especially for us people that try to do that thing of getting up early.
I'm an old man, and I got gray hairs coming in now, dude. It's so embarrassing. I might try to find some color in or something. Yeah, you do have me beat maybe a little bit. You can't see it on yours, but I'm hitting the light right. Oh my God, you're so old. That's funny, man. All right, well, cool. I appreciate anybody who stopped in and watched, and shout out to Daryl, man. This is an extreme amount of work. Like doing one episode is hard in a week, especially if you do the day job and you have family. But like doing a whole day's worth, how many people? 14. You're mad. You need to go to bed and take a vacation for a couple of days.
Dude, you know what's left though? The editing part is left.
Oh, you got to edit all.
God.
So you're gonna put all this in a day's worth, or how's this gonna turn out?
I'm gonna break it up. Like I got this in, like from sports radio. They like do what, the first hour, second hour, third hour. So I'm just gonna let it come out every day leading up to the regular launch day, which is next week Tuesday.
Kudos to you, man. I respect the hell out of what you're doing. Like, awesome. You're giving me some ideas. You're making me feel like I need to step my game up over here.
Hey, man, it's if I could do that for you, man, that's great.
Yeah.
I know you'll do that for me.
Yeah, of course, man. So, and it was nice to catch a little bit of Jason's too. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Jason soon too. So, all right, cool. Well, I'll let you get on with the rest of your evening. Thank you, Zach, Peter, Jason, everyone else. Maria.
For sure, man. Blessings. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Peace.
All right.
How do I get out of here? All right. A couple more likes. Hearts. All right. Peace out, guys.
All right. So that's it. Oh my gosh. Mind blown. I've been at this from 12 noon. And it's now officially 9:20, and we've made it, episode 50. Like, these are going to be trickling out starting hopefully tomorrow. Everyone who came on, love you guys, appreciate you guys. I really appreciate this. If you could do something for me, go to iTunes and leave me a review. Scotty has already have. So if you haven't, go to iTunes and leave me a review. PassionBehindTheArt.com. Passion Behind the Art. Like, I want you guys to go out there and build quality relationships. This is what happens when you build quality relationships. We are all not like close friends. Some I'm closer with some than others, but this has helped me to build great friendships. People that I will go to bat with any time of the day, and that's more important to me than anything that I can anything that I can attain to build quality relationship with people that I can share a journey with, that they can help me and I can help them build a legacy. So without further ado, this is it. Passion Behind the Art. This is just the beginning. Peace. I want to say thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. If you want to get in touch with me, you can reach me at DPCREATES on Instagram or Twitter. And please leave me a review on iTunes because that helps the podcast to grow. Thanks again. Be blessed.